I used to think IKEA was just a furniture store. Bright lights, modern layouts, Swedish meatballs, an oddly satisfying organization. But that night, everything changed. I walked in searching for a lamp, just a simple bedside lamp. It was late, close to closing time, and the store was unusually quiet. I remember pushing the cart past the soft glow of showroom lamps, the muted footsteps of other shoppers blending with the familiar ambient music playing overhead. Everything felt normal. Comfortably so. Until it didn't. Something was off, though I didn't notice it at first. It was subtle, like a strange pressure in the air, like being watched, even though no one seemed to be around anymore. One moment, the aisles were filled with people, the low buzz of voices and movement all around. The next, silence. A deep, consuming silence that pressed into my ears and wrapped around my spine like cold fingers. I called out, thinking maybe the store had closed without announcement, but my voice echoed strangely, as though the shelves were swallowing sound. I turned to retrace my steps, but where the entrance should have been, there was nothing. Just more aisles. More displays. More carefully arranged domestic illusions. It didn't make sense. I spun around, walked faster, thinking I'd gotten turned around. But every path led to another showroom, then another, then another. Chairs and rugs. Kitchens and beds. Looping endlessly, like a dream that refuses to end. Panic settled into my chest like a weight. That was the first time I realized I was trapped. I started running. Not out of strategy, just fear. Raw, blind fear. My shoes slapped against the fake wood floors, my breath coming harder with every step. And then, just when I thought I was alone in this impossible maze, I saw it. It was standing motionless at the far end of the aisle. A tall, faceless figure in an IKEA uniform, skin pale and rubbery, stretched too tight over limbs too long. It didn't move, not at first. But the moment I blinked, it was closer. Much closer. No footsteps. No sound. Just closer. I turned and ran harder than I ever have in my life. I could feel it behind me, not chasing like a person, but gliding, like something that wasn't bound by the same rules of motion as I was. I crashed through a pile of throw pillows, darted into a wardrobe on display, and closed the doors around me, pressing my back to the wall and covering my mouth to muffle the sound of my breathing. For a while, there was nothing. Silence again. Then a whisper, faint, monotone, floating just outside the wardrobe. "Dear customer, the store is now closed. Please exit through the checkout." But there was no checkout. No exit. No help. When I finally dared to step out, I found others, 3 people, huddled behind barricades made from bookshelves and mattresses. One of them, a woman named Sarah, pulled me in and whispered, "You're not the first. And you won't be the last." They had been trapped here for weeks, maybe longer. It was hard to tell. Time didn't work properly in this place. There was no sunrise, no clocks, just the dimming and brightening of artificial lights that followed no pattern. They called it SCP-3008. None of them knew how they got stuck, only that once the store decided to keep you, there was no going back. The so-called employees, those faceless things, only appeared when the lights dimmed. That was their signal to hunt. And if you were caught out in the open when closing time came, you didn't survive long enough to explain what happened. So we built shelters. We foraged for food from the demo kitchens, collected bottled water, stripped batteries from clocks to power flashlights. We formed shifts to keep watch through the endless, nameless nights. And yet, one by one, they disappeared. Sometimes in their sleep. Sometimes during watch. No sound. No struggle. Just gone. Their clothes left neatly folded on a display chair or bed. As if something wanted us to know they'd been taken. I remember waking one night to a strange smell, something like melted plastic and iron. On the wall behind our shelter, someone had written in red, "Not all of us are human anymore." No one admitted to writing it. No one even had red ink. After that, we stopped talking about escape. We stopped talking about anything. And now I'm the last one. I haven't heard another voice in weeks. I move camp every few days, though I no longer believe in that word. I mark time in footsteps now. I leave symbols in chalk on the floor. I follow the cold wind, yes, there's wind, somehow, and keep my back to the wall whenever I sleep. I write this in case someone finds it. In case there's still a world out there that believes this place is just a quirky Swedish megastore. SCP-3008 is real. It's not a myth. It's not a prank. It's a trap, and it's always open. So if you ever walk into an IKEA and something feels off, if you can't find your friend, if the aisle seems longer than it should, if the lights flicker without reason and the air feels just a little too still, don't blink. Don't run. And whatever you do, don't stay after closing time.